Allies believe the U.S. is no longer a good model of democracy, poll shows.
Here's a summary of the article.
A new survey spanning 16 nations and regions, most of them U.S. allies, has shown the country's global image rebounded after President Joe Biden succeeded former President Donald Trump. But not a single country believed the United States any longer constitutes a good example for democracy. In neighboring Canada, some 69% felt this way, compared with 14% who felt that the democracy in the U.S. is a good example for other countries to follow, and another 14% that it has never been a good example for other countries. These opinions echoed across the Atlantic to Europe, where the sentiment that the U.S. today is not a model democracy was held by 57% in the Netherlands, 56% in Sweden and the United Kingdom, 54% in Germany, Belgium and Spain, 53% in France, 49% in Italy and 45% in Greece, where, as in France and Germany, 27%, the highest response recorded, felt the U.S. had never served as a democratic model. The idea that democracy in the U.S. used to be a good example, but has not been in recent years, was shared by some 73% in South Korea, 67% in Japan, 66% in Singapore, 64% in Australia and 63% in Taiwan and New Zealand, which also had the largest share of respondents saying, democracy in the U.S. has never been a good example for other countries, at 27%. Across these 16 countries, a majority of 57% believed that the U.S. was no longer the democratic leader it used to be, while 23% felt it never was, and only 17% felt it still is. While attitudes are mixed about how well the U.S. political system functions, publics in the advanced economies surveyed are largely skeptical that democracy in the U.S. is a good example for other countries to follow, an accompanying Pew Research Center report stated. Across all democracies surveyed, no more than about 3 in 10 say the U.S. is currently setting a good example of democratic values. Rather, it added, majorities or pluralities say American democracy used to be a good example but has not been in recent years, and up to about a quarter reject the idea that the U.S. has ever been a good model of democracy.
This post received a score of 84,000, with an upvote ratio of 76%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Well, what do you expect when people in positions of power aren't held accountable for their actions? From law enforcement all the way up to Capitol Hill. It's a complete shit show.
I think the most alarming aspect of it all is that many Americans do not care. They don't know, and do not care. Edit.
Some of them don't know. Many of them know and care but don't know what to do about it, or what they do just isn't enough to stop it. Many of them know, and like what they see.
Seriously though, what can I do to change this?
I joined my city civil service commission. We set rules around hiring, firing, discipline, etc. It's a small thing, but I think more people should do it and make sure things are being run well. I've learned a lot from it. What is that, and how do you join? Contact your mayor or city leader. You need to be appointed, but it's generally a volunteer thing.
Americans are fed up with the two-party system, so even we are no longer convinced that we are a good model of democracy. Edit. Watch this video. Yes, it's that one.
Usually when people are fed up with the two-party system, that means they want more parties, not fewer. Edit. WTF is up with all you people wanting a one-party state? Isn't Reddit banned in China?
The United States is also a one-party state, but with typical American extravagance, they have 2 of them. Julius Nyerere.
Yes, I'd like a large Democratic Party, with a side of Republicans. That'll be $12.50. Ugh, I've only got $8. Jimmy, a small Green Party. We're all out, can I get you some Libertarian instead? Gross. Forget it.
Obligatory.
Is this a skit or real life?
Real life, but the video is cut a little for comedic effect.
This looks like a scene out of Idiocracy lol.
Allies are right. The people haven't been honestly and accurately represented in decades.
That's why we can't pass the most basic reforms on infrastructure, healthcare, and wages. The people were forced to sacrifice themselves on the altar of capital while corporations received endless handouts. We won't have a functioning democracy until our system of open and legal corruption is abolished. Not until every penny of corporate money disappears from politics.
We also can't have a democracy when 30% of the voting populace can hold the other 70% hostage.
U.S. is in desperate need of reform. A complete ban on corporate, billionaire donations, legal bribes. Grassroots only. End gerrymandering. End voter suppression. Implement ranked choice voting and stop suppressing third parties. Abolish the Electoral College. Abolish the filibuster. And those are just the electoral reforms. We're in desperate need of economic reforms that we can't get due to the corporate capture of our government.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.